Okay, I cleared the program on this, and I backed out, and it said configuring system, please wait, and then it switched over to, it was going to do an SLC, but I just turned it off because I want it to be like basically kind of like it is coming out of the factory. Um, I'm assuming it's clear of any programming. All the whatever registers and buffers and everything are all set to some factory default. Um, so we're going to power it on and see what happens. So hopefully all of my devices are connected. This is a pretty common scenario for us. We'd take the panel out of the box, install all the devices, get it all wired. Now, panel says initializing, please wait. Process may take several minutes. Okay. So we get it out of the box. The guy's powered on. It comes up eventually, and it'll say extra points. And it'll basically list the detectors and the modules because there's no programming done. Nobody's gone into the programming menu. And the way we do it is we program it. The guys have a little 4-way thumb drive. I'm going to use this one, but the ones they have are a little 4-way thumb drive that we do all the programming here under FS Tools in the office. We save it to a thumb drive in the office because it won't let you just save it to your C drive. You got to save it to an actual stick. Then we email that file. They get it out of their email. They load it from their phone onto their little 4-way stick, which works great. And then we go in the panel and we do the thumb drive download into the panel. So I want to simulate that with this panel, but I want to make sure we got it clear because I cleared it, and I want this to come up and say extra points. Like there's nothing in the system because of the I don't know 250 or so systems that we have installed, ES panels, that is 250 or so ES panels. I would say 240 of them have never been auto-programmed because we don't use auto-program. We use thumb drives. So my theory is that there's systems where we've never even gone actually into the programming through the menus on the keyboard. So the guys install the devices. We upload. There we go. System normal. Trouble in system, no devices installed. Now there they are, extra points. So I think my guys see this. We're just going to go through this. So the guys are like, they're done. Everything's wired correctly. They do a good job making sure things are addressed correctly, and we do a good job in the office of programming. So we're going to take our thumb drive here, plug it in, and we're going to do what the guys might do, programming mode. Not programming mode, sorry. USB upload download 4. Passwords are 2s. Download configuration. FS50 file, yes. Upload download in progress. Please wait. So the question is, after this process, saving system configuration, please wait. Well, it does say configuring SLC loops. That's what I was wondering is, does it do that? Does it actually configure the loops after the thumb drive? It seems logical that it would. But the thing I don't understand then, let's just see what happens. So is there any chance that in this process it's not detecting those heat detectors correctly? Because I was at a site earlier today, 2 buildings side by side, and one of the buildings, the heat detector values were much higher. That's in my previous video, which I haven't uploaded yet, but I'll probably upload them both. And I thought, what if it takes an auto program or going into programming to get it to do this, to get it to do that? It's thinking. System normal. So there you go. So now, in theory, this is a job. It comes out normal because the guys did a good job. It's the end of the day. They're ready to call it. I can't even tell you how many times they don't set the clock, which drives me nuts. But conceivably, right now, the tech could be packing it up. Everything's good. Packing it up, or he goes in and sets the clock with the user mode ones. Okay, let's just see for kicks now. What does it show as the values? I'm going to pull that thumb drive out. Menu, read status mode, system point, detector, 010. That's right, 0.27. 0.27, 0.27, 0.27, 0.14. I'm not sure. I'm going to try a variation on this. Maybe the guys don't have the panel totally loaded. They'd put the programming in and then they drop that. That's conceivable. Let's try that. Because this way the values are right. So this may be a long video, but we're going to go now. Oops, programming mode. We're going to say clear program, all points. Whoops, not all points, escape. Whole system. Yes. Escape. Saving system config. I'm going to just power this off right now before it does too much. Okay, so now I've powered it off. We're going to pretend like it's not wired. So, and the guys maybe powered on without the SLC connected. This is just another theory. Powered on. I'll ask them if they ever do this, what I'm doing now, if they ever powered on, put the programming in, and then connect the SLC. It's possible. Anything is possible. So there's no SLC connected. So eventually it should come up and say no device is installed, but it's not going to give us all those extra point troubles because we're not connected. Then we'll load the programming, and then it's probably going to go through that little initial or the configuring SLC, but there's no SLC connected. We're just going to see what it does. Oops, that was too much. I think the best solution would be to let the installer pick the exact device, and if the panel sees anything other than the exact device, then it's a trouble in any scenario. I mean, it's better for the installer, because if we set the devices and then if we do make a mistake somehow, we accidentally put the wrong device type in somewhere, then it's going to tell us immediately. Whereas the way it is now, we put the wrong device in by accident, which is not what we're doing here, but let's just say that was a case where we did that. Then we don't know. The panel's going to configure it because it's going to think it's fine because it's a heat. And, especially now that they don't have the big black dot on them, that was very convenient previously. Now they all look the same. Anyway, okay, no device is installed. So, okay, the guys go up, no device is installed. Let's just try this. Let's say, let's put the programming in, Okay, so they come in, programming mode, USB upload, download. We're going to do that. We're going to put the programming in right now. The office sent it to us. We're going to put this programming in. Maybe we're going to get this part done, and then we're going to finish the wiring. After we're just going to start this, and then I'll start trimming the NACs. Just as a, I can totally see that happening. They powered it on, boom, they're trying to save a little time because they can let this thing go through its procedure while they're working on this wiring up here, because they got to wire in the relays for the radio, they got to wire all this, everything. So, and they probably start left to right, so maybe this is doing its thing, and then they get to the SLC at the very end and connect it. Because saving system config, please wait. So configuring SLC loops. Well, there's nothing to configure. So I am going to ask my guys, because if this is the scenario, I'm going to ask them if this happens, that they do it like this. It's possible. Maybe we'll plug that SLC in and it'll do this again. I don't know. But if it doesn't, that's a huge clue. So now what's going to happen when this is done? The points have been programmed in, but the panel has not communicated with them. So it's going to say invalid reply a bunch of times. And let's just see what happens. So obviously, if this is what happens, this is probably a bad practice, because you shouldn't let your panel do all this without the devices connected, but I'm just trying to think what could happen. And obviously, the firmware, the programming needs to be able to handle any scenario that an installer can throw at it, including this one. System normal. Interesting. Well, there we go. Invalid reply. Invalid reply. I should have a whole bunch of invalid replies. Oops, I gotta go down here. Nope. Do I only have one invalid reply so far? There we go. They're all invalid replies. Okay, so now we're in trouble. Guy's done. Takes his thumb drive out. Okay, yeah, all right, I got it. Finishing my wiring. Yada yada. Okay, let's trim the SLC now. Boom, we trim the SLC. Let's see what happens. Hey, system's normal. Look at that. Configuring SLC loops? Nope. Let's just check a little read status now. System point. Detector. 010. Well, it hasn't figured it out yet. But let's wait a minute, because I think it takes it a few seconds. But I think this is the scenario. I think this is what's happening. I think the guys sometimes put that in there while they're wiring the panel. And well, okay. Maybe not. Oh, we got some test fails. That's interesting. Let's see what it says for read status now. So maybe they're not doing this. I don't know. System point. Detector. 10. Oh, the test fails went away. The test fails went away. Oop. Oh, look at that. Ooh, look at that. 0.42. This panel thinks that all of these are 0.42. So this thinks they're all normal. This is what the guys are doing. This is how we have a building with all the detectors like this. Okay. Okay. So I think this is what's happening. I think this is exactly what's happening. There may be a couple of isolated cases where there might be a couple of extra cases where this it's a guy switching ahead because they screwed up, but this is what's happening. This is what's happening. All right. Bingo, bingo, winner, winner, chicken dinner. Okay, it's going to be a big field note in the company as to how we do things with our procedures. But this panel, that shouldn't happen. It should be smart enough to go through that when a device goes from invalid reply back to normal. It should check it to make sure that it's the right type. This I don't know. It's just this should have the ability for the installer to set the type. Then that would never happen. Anyway, I'm going to post this. I'm sure you guys are going to be real tired of hearing my voice and watching these, but that's the answer. That is the answer. I'm going to just check them one more time. Detector 042. Attic. Oops, not 042. Oh, 42%. Yeah, 42. There they are. They're all there. I've tricked this panel. This panel believes that these high temperature detectors are normal detectors right now. And the guys are done now. They come back. They see system normal. It's the end of the day. They're ready to go home. They don't go into programming. They don't do an auto program. They shut the door and leave and go home. And an inspector comes. We fire off a few things. We probably hit reset. Reset. Let's see what reset does. Okay, there we go. There's our version. System normal. Oh, good. We're back. It still thinks these are regular detectors. This is what's happening. This is what's happening. I'm gonna talk to the guys. This is what's been doing what we've been doing, and I get it. We shouldn't have. The guys should not have done it like that. But this should be smart enough to protect itself from this scenario. This absolutely should never be able to happen like it just did. Anyway, that's it.